All right, I hope you're following along. Now that we're writing some real PHP, we're searching the database and we're displaying this information below. I'm going to do something that isn't super neat in terms of coding, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to show you how an if statement would work in real life. So, I mean, we've used if statements up here of not empty search and all that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do, if you look here, you see that I had to put this parentheses here because I don't know if they found one student or zero or multiple students. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this and right in here, we're going to just hit enter a couple times and give ourselves some room because again, in PHP, this spacing doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right in the middle of this HTML and we are going to say, we're going to open up our PHP tags and we're going to say if count not equals 1, and then we're just going to say echo s. Okay, and so then I'm going to close my PHP tags and I'll explain what we're doing. So if you have one student, there's no s on the end. Anything else, if you have 0 or 100 or 1,000 or a million, it's going to say students. So if the number of rows that we received in this database query is not equal to 1, add an s on the end. That's it. That's all we did there on this thing. And so now if I refresh this page, we're going to say, which I got a space there. So we're going to get rid of that space. We'll actually just bump this up here, see if that gets rid of it. So again, I could do it neater. In fact, I could even bring this all in one line, which is not the easiest way to read, but I could come in here and say echo s like this and just drop that in there. Now, this is not the prettiest code, but the idea is that we're able to make this, more dynamic. So if I were to come in here and look in the database, I have one person named Bob. So if I come in here and search for Bob, oops, if I can type. I can't type very well. I don't know if you guys know that, but so let's see. Did I have 2 Bobs? I had 2 Bobs. All right, let's do Smith. I have 1 student, no S's. And so our if statement worked. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. Now, again, this is not an HTML class, but we're going to have to do some HTML. And so right now we're just dumping the results. And so instead of doing that, we should make a table. We should make just a very basic table. And so I'm going to clear all this out of the way here. And I'm going to say, so we're still inside this if not empty search. You can see that's lit up there. And so I'm going to make a table. And this is a standard HTML table. I'm going to add a little bit of CSS to it. And I'm going to say class equals table and then table striped. And that's going to make the table a little prettier. And I'm going to do a T head for the table head. And I'm going to make 1 row for that. And I have 4 columns. There's the ID, the first name, the last name, and the RFID tag. So if I were to come in here and say TH ID, and then TH first name, if I can type, TH last name, and TH RFID. So now if I come in here and I refresh the page, I have this table, this little snippet of CSS in Bootstrap made this nice little heading for me, but I don't have any rows. And so we're going to use our old friend, the for each loop. And so we have this thing here. If you notice, we're getting all the results back as the variable results. So, and right here, we're just dumping the results. We're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to come down here and we're going to make our T-body. And now we're going to do some PHP. So I'm going to open up the PHP tags. Okay. And I'm going to say this. If I can get my cursor in the right spot. For each, and then I'm going to say results. as, and then we're just going to say R. Now, if you watch the video, it may have been a little while since you watched it. With the for each loop, we are going to go through every single result. So in this situation, there's 1. If I were to go in and search for Hoover, there would be 2. But whatever number of results there are, I'm going to do something with those results. And in this situation, I'm assigning each of the results as R. So in other words, this would be R arrow ID. This would be R arrow first name, R arrow last name for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close PHP. In fact, we'll make this one line just so you can kind of see that it's all one line of PHP. And then down here, we're going to open and close another set of PHP tags. And so what you basically have is PHP for each of these results, close the PHP and go back and re-loop through this stuff. So we're doing a loop. And so as many results as there are, we're going to do whatever is between these two braces. So in this situation, we want to make a new row of the table for every one of these people. Now, how do you do that? There's nothing magical about it. It's just like HTML. So we're going to do TR for table row, and we've made a new table row. And now we want to make a cell for the ID, the first name and the last name and the RFID. So we're going to do TD for the cell, and I'm going to copy these and just make 4 of them off the bat, because we have 4 pieces of information. We have the ID, which is auto-generated. We'll get into that more later. We have the first name, the last name, and the RFID tag. So all you have to do inside of here is use our fancy PHP echo. So we're going to do question mark, the less than question mark equals RID. Okay, so we're going to leave the other ones blank for now. But basically what we're saying is for every one of these students, come here and assign it to the variable R, and then for every one of them, we're going to make a table row, and in the first cell, we're going to echo out, which that's what this means, we're going to echo out the ID of that R. And so I'm going to refresh the page, and you're going to see that we have 3. So if I were to come in here and search for Hoover, you would see that students 1 and 4 are in the Hoover results. So I can come right through here again, and I can just copy this, and I'm just going to copy, and then we're going to take the column names. So, F name, L name, RFID, which is also being dumped out here as F name, L name, RFID, and so F name, L name, RFID. And now if I refresh the page, oops, I got an extra there somewhere. Oh, right there. So refresh the page, and now as I do this search, I'm getting very quick results in a pretty table that shows all of the people who meet that search criteria. So the other thing we haven't done yet is search by RFID tag. So if I were to come in here and search for this thing, I would get their RFID tag. I'm searching by RFID tag, and it's going to bring that one up. And yeah, so that's a very simple search engine that will allow us to be able to search the database for the exact results we want.